Hey, what's up everyone, X here, bringing to you my thoughts and opinions on Captain Tsubasa Rise of New Champions. Now this game has been out for a really long time now, and basically enough I want to give nearly enough my inputs and see if this game is still enjoyable to this day. I would like to clarify that I give a review 1 to 2 weeks to get my full-fledged opinion on, and I'll be going through the good shits and the bad shits that Captain Tsubasa has to offer. Without further ado, let us begin. Now, Captain Tsubasa is basically a football game, but not your average football game such as FIFA or PES. Basically, Captain Tsubasa is like magical football, where mostly every shot or save, or even sometimes block and technique for that matter, is impossible for an average human being undoing. Also, you can basically tackle an opponent in a really painful way and not get fouled for it, and the person that got tackled can basically walk it off and makes it look like that shit didn't even happen to him. To kind of give a similarity to what Captain Tsubasa is, it's basically like another football anime called Inazuma 11, if you've heard or played that game. That's where I would kind of base Captain Tsubasa in so far. Now basically moving on to what Captain Tsubasa has to offer for the time being. Starting off first with the story mode on episode Tsubasa. Basically, episode Tsubasa takes place where you play as the team known as Nankatsu, and they're trying to get nearly enough their V3. While doing so, you're going up against other middle schools as well as they try to make sure you do not get your V3. You sometimes will have some cutscenes before the big game, and also when you're in the game as well, you sometimes will get some animated cutscenes. And you just go for the chapters until you can get one of various sort of endings. New heroes! There is a lot to go on new heroes. Basically, what you do on new heroes, you pick a middle school that you want to join, pick a position that you want to play in, sadly they do not have goalkeeper, and then finally, customize your character to your heart's content. They basically have like a little cutscene, where basically enough you get introduced in that, whatnot, you get selected to play for the team, you play the game as it is, get some skills, get yourself some new shots, spawn with some characters, which sadly I'll get to that as well, and you've done with the middle school arc, and then they move on to the junior league arc, which is basically you and a bunch of other players got selected to play for your home country, and it's basically the same as well. Get newer and cooler skills, get yourself a super save if you want to. Even they did something nice for even the DLC characters, especially for my baby boy Ricardo Espados. And basically and whatnot you can get as well, various other endings as well. And that's nearly enough not the end of New Heroes, trust me. And finally, moving on to Rising Star. Now, Rising Star is basically only DLC content, so I won't go through much in it. Basically, it takes place in between new heroes, and basically completing it just gets you a star variant character, and that's about it. Now, basically moving on to the online stuff that Captain Tsubasa has to offer. Now, basically the online stuff, there's legit really not much to cover about it. So basically enough, they do have a match room area where you can play with a random person or with your mates just for fun and whatnot, and that's about it. They also have division matches where you can play with certain divisions if you have played FIFA, ranging from bronze, silver and gold to masterclass and whatnot, but every rank that you get has a requirement. And finally, they have event matches which only show up regularly, which one is currently going on right now, and I will get to that later. But getting a certain amount of points allows you to unlock cool rewards as well, and that is everything that the online thing has to offer, and also what Captain Tsubasa has to offer right now. Now moving on to the good shits that what Captain Tsubasa has to have. Now with the good shits, I will hand it down and say this: the animation on the shots, the fucking technique, skills and dribbles, the blocks, even the goddamn saves are hands down mwah, perfecto and good. It makes you feel like you're right there, determined to save that ball, or do that skill, or take that shot. In general, what you gotta say, big up on those techniques. And also, if you are playing episode Tsubaya and you basically don't understand what Tsubaya is doing or what these people are, have no fear. Every time you finish off a unique skill in episode Tsubaya, which I gotta say the annotations on episode Tsubaya also crisp and clean on that. Gotta give props to that too. Have no fear, because they have these things known as DADs, or DADs for short, which basically, clicking on them, basically gives you an introduction to that character and what that character does. I sadly cannot play them because of copyright, and basically enough it welcomes and introduces new time, or first time people that don't even know what Captain Tsubaya is. Which I gotta say, big up on that. And even in episode New Heroes, if you've purchased any new kind of DLC character, they basically don't shove them to the side, like most companies do. They legit put them in there and give them their own story and whatnot. And you can even learn their skills and techniques too. Even my baby boy Ricardo Spanos. And sadly enough, that is everything to do with the good shits in this game. Now moving on to the bad shits that Captain Tsubaya has to offer. And buckle the fuck in, because there's a lot to go over when it comes to the bad shits. Basically, let's start off with New Heroes. Now to start off, basically enough, you can basically learn, as I said, whatnot, skills and techniques and upgrade your character. But I never basically told you it fully. Now for instance, let's say, hey, I want to learn Ricardo's shot. Well, sadly, you can't get Ricardo's shot unless basically enough you have him maxed out at level 5 in the card store. Oh, how do I get nearly enough Ricardo to level 5? Do I have to do some requirements in that in New Heroes? No, you basically have to go to the Player Points store and open repeated packs and get duplicate cards of Ricardo, boosting him up to level him up. And the grind to get level 5 is a fucking shit ton to do. And that goes for all of them, and they all cap at level 7. Which I don't understand why they're capped at level 7 when basically isn't level 5 the last bit to get. And speaking of that too, many people, the community, have found ways to even make a level 99 stat character. Meaning that they have found ways to make level 99 in strength, technique, speed, whatnot. Basically making a machine that can one-shot any goalkeeper in the game. And the best goalkeeper is the German giant, Müller. And they can basically one-shot him. Which brings us to the skills in the event. Now the event basically says that they give out free limited time skill cards for this player for their certain event. And emblem too, when if you wait long enough you can easily purchase these skill cards and emblems in the Captain Coins store. Which you do have to get Captain Coins either by waiting until basically the company fucks up to then give you them as a way of saying sorry, which I will say big up on the company, knowing their mistakes and giving something to the player, or you can buy them for a cheap price, which I highly wouldn't recommend it. But if you do get your skill card, well, too bad, because you got to play all through New Heroes again and get maxed out bonded with that character to unlock that skill. Only then that character gets that skill and also you get that skill. And speaking of the skills that the event has to offer, most of them just make the game even more brokener. And if you add these sort of skills up together, you're basically made a one-shot machine that can score past any goalkeeper unless they have a super save to kind of stop the shot and whatnot. Which basically enough deteriorates people from not playing your game. And which is also what I found when I've played basically enough division matches and on the event match too. Now basically as such, I have played this event match as I'm currently recording this video, and basically enough all I have found is bots. Not real people, bots. And once I got nearly enough the card, I knew it was just the best time to quit. But Division, they basically pair me up against someone in the Gold League, while I'm in the Bronze League. And I've basically played against them, and they fucking destroy me, and have my ass for dinner. Which basically makes me not want to go back there if I'm just going to get put up with someone who's way higher rank than me. And this is basically enough, sadly, why this game is what it is to this day. Dead. They did try to bring people back by bringing in a freestyle mode, which freestyle mode is basically like take Rocket League's Total Mayhem, but nearly enough every character in that game, including middle school players and junior school players, are fucking overpowered and good, and it's well balanced out, but have abilities and whatnot. And they brought Rising Star to it too, but it sadly didn't bring everyone back. And eventually, in the end, I think the developers know themselves that this game is sadly on a lifeline right now. And basically enough, New Heroes is the one responsible on making this game what it is to this day. Dead. And not enjoyable, and not fun to play anymore, unless it's with your mates. And this is everything I've got to cover about the bad shit that Captain Tsubasa has to offer. Which brings me to my conclusion on this game. And that's, is this game good? No. Hands down, no. The online system is bad, and it's laggy, and that's probably just because I'm versing people from different other countries. I would say it's a good thing, on that they tried to make Captain Tsubasa known to the world, because basically enough, if it wasn't for this game, I wouldn't have met my darling baby boy Ricardo Espados to this day, which I gotta say, thank you, people of Captain Tsubasa, for making a good ass keeper. But at whatnot, this game is sadly dead from more or less the New Heroes. The fact being that you could make a broken character, and mostly the skill cards and events too. However though, if you are interested in purchasing the DLC and whatnot, I would say it's all at a fair, easy, cheap price. They're not trying to take away your money or rip you off in any way, shape or form. Unless you're buying the Captain coins, which I will say do not buy that. The Captain coins at all, because I do say that is a rip-off. But that is nearly enough, my opinion. What do you think? Do you agree with my decisions, or do you disagree with my decisions? Or how else do you see Captain Tsubasa today? I would love to hear any of your comments below. But if you enjoyed this review, leave a like. If you didn't, then don't. If you are interested in joining nearly enough the Rat Kingdom, the link to the Discord server is in the description below. And as always, peace. DX is out.